This is the 6th of November 2025. Today we caught a beautiful trade, which I'm very, very happy with myself for catching. Probably one of the most textbook trades I have seen this year. Literally doesn't get any more textbook than this. And I'm going to show you today why I took the trade, how we were patient, how we didn't force anything else, how we didn't take longs even though people thought that we were going to see longs today. And I'm going to take you through exactly why we took this trade. So as you all know, if you've been watching the previous daily trade recaps, we trade the DSE model, the direction, stage, and entry. So how this works is, first of all, we need to identify a direction. So direction is essentially our bias. So how do we understand what the daily candle is going to do? That is basically our job as a day trader. We need to understand where the next daily candle is likely to print. So if we get rid of today's daily candle, even though we know what it's already done, coming into today, before seeing today's daily candle, I expected a lower candle, a lower price candle, meaning we are going to have a bearish day. Yesterday we created a daily fair value gap, and again I'm going to bring it back to the same point. We fully filled this new week opening gap, we fully filled this daily fair value gap. We started to see price going higher. Everyone's now thinking, oh my days, we're going to go back to all-time highs. You have to look at the bigger picture. I keep saying this in every single trade recap, and I will keep saying it in every single trade recap until the end of the year. We are at the end of the year. Okay, now what does this mean? Well, a yearly candle, any candle opens, manipulates, goes higher, and then retraces back down into the range before it's about to finish. So if we look at the yearly chart, okay, now a lot of you boys will have never even looked at the yearly chart and thought about this, but this yearly candle opened, manipulated all the way down to here, the body of the candle went higher, which given us a bullish year, and now we are retracing back down into the yearly range. So that is why I am overall bearish. So anything then that supports my bearish bias, like the daily fair value gaps, is just added confirmation for us. So going into today, I really did think that we were going to tap this daily fair value gap. So stage one is to understand what our direction is. We understood that that was bearish today. We wanted to see our stage area be the daily fair value gap. So coming into the session today, if we just go back to here, jump down to here, coming back into the session today, if we just go just beneath the session, we just end it here. What actually ended up happening was, before market opened, we had London session high up here, London session low down here, and the daily fair value gap up here. As you can see, we didn't run to the daily fair value gap. We ended up leaving the daily fair value gap and just tapping this 15-minute fair value gap, which wasn't even the last one of the range, which I was really shocked about. So going into the session, right, my direction was bearish, but I was saying to the chat inside, everyone who was watching the TikTok live stream, I will look for long positions if we can sweep London session low and see some sort of clear displacement higher, and I will take longs to this daily fair value gap, because for me this daily fair value gap was such an obvious target, and I thought we'd have to tap this before we can go lower. Boy was I wrong, we absolutely flew lower today. Now the first trade that I was looking to take, and this is where a lot of people went wrong today. So what happened was we swept London session low. Now I was saying to the chat, I will happily take longs if we can clearly displace above this 1 minute fair value gap right here. Okay, so I was anticipating long positions, and my position today was going to look like this. Stop loss beneath there, take profit all the way at the daily fair value gap. We know what I was going to say. So I was waiting for us to inverse this. We didn't quite inverse it. A lot of people from here would have rushed this entry and got in. Why? Because I believe we had a 2 minute here. Okay, no we didn't, that was the next one. So a lot of people would have maybe got in here thinking that we were going to inverse it. This is why it's really important that you wait for the candle close before you enter a trade, okay? So we still wasn't interested in the trade. ES was also going down towards London session low. So I was still like, right, okay, we could sweep ES London session low and then start to see price moving higher. Now this is where a lot of people got caught out. So a lot of people saw this 2 minute fair value gap here be inversed. They entered here thinking that we were going to go higher. I still wasn't entered, and I wasn't happy until we closed above this fair value gap here, because this fair value gap is holding a lot of resistance, okay? So I still wanted to see a clear displacing candle go through this daily fair value gap. Sorry, this 1 minute fair value gap. As you can see, we closed above it, but it wasn't anything telling, okay? The reason a lot of people entered here is because it was an inverse, right? But especially when I'm going counter trend trades, because I knew the direction was bearish today, I have to see more of a blatant displacing candle higher. I would want to see this candle close here for me to give me any confidence this wants to go higher. So what happened? Everyone entered here, and the market absolutely destroyed everybody who entered that trade. I know a lot of people inside the chat got in that, was really frustrated. So after I saw this, I knew today was going to continue going lower, okay? So for the next few 15-minute candles, we end up going lower and lower. So then why did I actually end up taking the trade that I did? Let's go over that right now. So we first of all had this range down here. Now, when we understand that the direction is bearish and let's first of all talk about where we were drawing towards. So if we go back onto the daily, I had previous daily low as the target, which is down here. And I also then, if we look on the 15-minute chart, I also wanted to see, previous daily low and the last 15-minute of the range. So if we now come back to the 5-minute, why did I take this trade? Okay, really simple. When we understand that we're going lower, and once we've seen this move here, it's clear to me that we are not going to go higher. A lot of people, again, in the Discord chat, in the TikTok chat, were saying, why don't you look for longs? Why don't you look for longs? Because we are clearly drawing towards sell-side liquidity. Yes, we're going to see price moving higher to make people think we now want to look for longs. We have the bias for the day, boys. When you see this, do you really think we're coming back for this daily fair value gap? Think about it logically. Do you really think we're coming all the way back up here? I don't think so. Okay, the move's already been done. We can now just catch the second leg. Okay, so now we're waiting for the retracements to then go lower. So I drew on my Fibonacci tool from the top of the range to the bottom of the range. Now, equilibrium is very important. We also had a 5-minute fair value gap that sat within equilibrium. So I was essentially monitoring this fair value gap and this fair value gap up here. So I was monitoring both of these fair value gaps. Which one was I going to enter off? The one that got respected. That's as simple as that. So as we can now see here, we tapped into this first 5-minute fair value gap after tapping the 50% of the range, which is what I love to see. We then clearly displaced lower, and I was literally entering off of this 1-minute inverse here. Why? Because we've got the framework already. We know where we're drawing towards. We're clearly retracing. We've tapped into the 50% of the range. We then candle closed below here. I think it was this candle. Yeah, we candle closed below there. I then entered a short position on this candle, stop loss above these highs, take profit all the way down at, I didn't fully take profit at the previous daily low, if I'm being honest. I took profit, I think it was around here, if I'm not mistaken. We then entered the trade here, and the rest is, well, pretty easy take profit trade. That is the trade that we caught today. Really simple, boys. This is why it's so important to be patient. If you just let the first 30 minutes pass of the session, trading becomes so much easier because you can get a good understanding of what we're actually going to do based on what the first 30 minutes have done. That is the biggest point to take away from today. So yeah, hope you boys enjoyed the trade recap, and I'll see you tomorrow on TikTok Live.